I bought 22 rental units in only 18 months and figured out the easiest way to analyze a rental property. So in this video, I'm gonna break down exactly how I do it so you can do the same if you want. So with that being said, let's dive into my computer, find a property, and see if it's gonna make a good rental. All right, so now that we're in my computer, guys, I will be honest, I am on Zillow right now, but I personally don't like buying properties on the market. I like going direct to seller, whether that's cold calling, doing mail, different stuff like that. I like going direct to seller. But just for this example, let's go on Zillow because some people do find properties on the market as well. So let's say we want to look in, let's do Camp Hill, PA. And it all depends on what you're looking for. So some people may be looking for a single family. Some people may be looking for a multifamily. In this case, let's do a multifamily. So I want to go to home types. We'll deselect all those other ones and just keep multifamily. And we're just going to see what pops up here and see if it's a good deal. So there's actually no multifamily. So let's just remove this boundary. Honestly, let's just see what's in Harrisburg for real. See what we're working with. And I'll let you know if it's a good deal or not. So my main strategy is actually with rentals is the burst strategy. The reason why I like the burst strategy is because you can get into rental properties with literally $0. Like you don't need money to be able to buy these. And that's how we started. We bought one with like negative $300 in our bank account. It was a 4-unit. And then once we refinanced, that property appraised for way higher. And we walked away with, I think it was like $61,000 or $63,000 tax free. So these deals definitely are out there. All right, so here is a deal, turnkey. I'm actually gonna X out of this because I don't like turnkeys. I like to have properties that I can add value to. So let me just X out of this one. Let's see, Green Street here. Look at these photos. I like Green Street. It looks like someone remodeled it. The photos aren't the best, but let's just keep going. Okay. So with this one here, let's go back to the listing. They want $249,900. All right, so it's a 2-unit, large rooms, nice layouts. Tenant pays their own heat and electric. Separate gas and furnace for each unit, replacement windows, so on and so forth. 20 days on the market. So with this one here, so they're asking $249,000. Now, as a BRRRR strategy, I already know this is going to be top of the line, like number wise. So what I would do first is I need to see what the ARV is, like what I could get it to in regards to once I fully fix it up. So with this one, like it's harder to, a lot of these are more so renovated, but let me see this one here. Let's see what this one's looking like. Okay, so this one kind of needs some work. You can see like the wallpaper. Look at this. This is what we like to see. This is what we like to see right here. So $159,000. Okay. We want to see properties like this. So this one already needs some work. Is this a 2-unit? So it shows you right here. It's a 2-unit, upper and lower, 2 bedrooms, offering 2 bedrooms. Perfect. Provides separate access for both. Okay. So what you want to figure out too, when you are looking at these properties, do they have the same electrical meters? Like, is everything separately metered with electric, with gas? Usually within the city of Harrisburg with like the water, usually it's on one water meter. But every place is different. So just see what it is in your local area. Because if you have separate meters, and let's say the landlord originally is like paying for utilities, you can put all those utilities on the tenants and they pay for them. And it's all separately metered. It just makes life so much easier and you save money. So with this one here, it's not telling me how much they're paying in rent. So the first thing I would do is I would call the agent to see how much they're putting it in rent. And I'm actually going to go on my MLS, and you guys may not have access to the MLS, but all you would have to do is call up the agent and ask them how much is the gross rent for each unit, and then how much are the expenses the current landlord is paying. So what I'll do is go under public records, and this address was 1002 South 29th Street. So it should pop up here under Harrisburg. Okay, so here it is, last listing. Let's see if it pops up here. No, so it doesn't. So that just gives you the seller property disclosure and the offer instructions. So let me go back. Let me see if they put it down in the agent remarks here. No, it's not in the agent remarks. So let's do this. Oh, well, because it's probably fully vacant, so they don't have the rent. That makes sense. So current rent, and guys, I may be going a little fast, but this is easy. This is very easy. So what I do is I just have this little breakdown in regards to breaking down what I would do for seeing if a rental property is something I want or not. Now, let me go back to here. So they want $159 for the property. So we can put it at the sale price of $159. And I want to see what's the bed and bath count. So it's two bedrooms, as we saw on Zillow. So guys, you don't need the MLS. Like, I'll just go back to Zillow. Everything, two bedrooms. So put 2 bedrooms here, 2 bedrooms here. It's only 2 units, so I'll take that out. Usually those are 1 bedrooms. And I want to see what the pro forma is. And the pro forma is basically once the whole property is renovated, what is the rent I could get. So typically with 2 bedroom units out in this area, I already know just from having my own rentals within Harrisburg City that we could get a minimum, with it being 2 bedrooms, fully remodeled after it's remodeled, probably around $1,250 a unit. So what I would do is put $1,250 here and $1,250 here. And that's just rent. So sometimes you can charge plus $130 a piece for utilities if you guys do it that way. Or like I said, it could be separately metered. And the reason how I was able to come up with this is, like I said, like I've been doing it for a while, so I know what rents are going for in this area. But if you guys haven't been doing this, this is an easy way for you to learn how to find what your rent pro forma can be. So you want to go to Zillow, go to for rent, and then these would be apartment style, not a whole house. So let's see what they're going for, and we can go from high to low. So, and it depends on the source. So sometimes if you go through Section 8, you can get a little bit more. And it just depends on the Section 8 with the different counties. Some will pay a little bit more, some will pay a little bit less. So let's just go down. And what we want to do is get to where 29th Street is. So let me see. So it's right by Walnut Street and Her. So we want to go where it's at. So here it is, right around this area. You want to make sure you're looking at rental comps where that area is, because everywhere all depends. So this is a 4 bedroom. So I'm going to keep going down. Here's a one. Look, this is a 1 bedroom for $1,250, but it looks like it may be a house. Or no, that's an apartment right there. And what I like to do, because we want to know the demand for that, like, is there high demand? So look, 22 days, 4 contacts. And a 1 bedroom for $1,250, that's high. But a 2 bedroom for this is $1,275, but a 2 bedroom for $1,250, that's a lot more reasonable. And this is on 24th Street, and ours is on 29th Street. So I already know we're right around that ballpark just from that. And if I go back here, here's a 1 bedroom for basically $1,000 a month. Let's see the demand on this. Look, 22 days, 36 contacts. The demand is definitely there, as we can see. So I know that we can definitely get $1,250 for a 2-bedroom. Now I want to look at property taxes. So you can look at property taxes on Zillow. If you have the MLS, you can look at it on the MLS. So on Zillow, it shows $25.18. On the MLS, if I go to tax history, it shows $26.15. So it's a slight difference. So what I actually like to do is, because when sometimes you buy these properties, the taxes sometimes, not always, they may increase, especially when you're fixing it up. So we could put like $2,700 for real, because I like to always overestimate. Now, in regards to insurance, you can touch base with like local insurance companies to see if what it would be, just to price out different ones. Don't just go to one, like always get other answers in regards to insurance, because all the pricing is going to be different. So with insurance, roughly we're seeing around, I want to say it could be $80 a month. So, and that's with like one of our 2 units. It's literally right down in that specific area. So we can say around $80 a month. Now, in regards to gas and electric, these parts is where you would want to ask the agent, like, what is the current gas? What is the current electric, the water and sewer, garbage per month? I know over here in our area, our garbage is roughly between like 70 to 80. So I'm gonna just go on the higher end and put 80 a month. Lawn and snow, it depends on if you're gonna do it or if you have someone else that's going to do it. Now with this property here, if I go up, you see there is gonna be some grass here that needs mowed. But if you're gonna do it and you wanna save some money, then by all means, we can put that as 0. And that's what we did. Like, we been doing self-managing and we've been able to save us a lot of money. In regards to management, this is property management. Sometimes you're gonna see 8%, sometimes 10%, depending on the company. For us, in particular, just for us, we do our own property management, so this would be 0, as you can see. And then vacancy, 5%, maintenance, 5%. You can mess around with these numbers on what you feel comfortable with. And with us, we fully remodel our properties, so that definitely helps in the long run. Now, with our water and sewer in Harrisburg, they're actually combined within the city. Outside the city, they aren't combined, but within the city, they are. So I'll just put 0 here and then just put everything here in regards to water. And it all depends. We could roughly see around, let me see what our last water bill was for real. So in regards to water, we could roughly be around $200 a month. And if you guys are like very curious about these answers too, like you can always, like I said, number 1, touch base with the agent, see what the current numbers are. And then number 2, touch base with the companies, the utility companies, to see what they think the average would be as well. Just so you have your numbers on point. Now, with this property, let's say it is separately metered. Oh, it is. There we go. So when you see 3 meters, this doesn't mean it's 3 units. One of these is like the common areas, and then this is like for unit 1, unit 2, right there. And you see the separate electrical panels. So the landlord's most likely going to have common area electric. So let's just say that's going to be $50 a month. We'll put there. And guys, I overestimate because that's what you want to do, so you're not getting screwed on the back end. So with that being said, with us looking at a $2,500 gross, this is what we're currently at. So we don't have any rent, property taxes, insurance, so on and so forth. It shows that we're negative $635 monthly until we get this thing up and running. Now, our pro forma, once we have it all stabilized and we have rent coming in, $1,250 a piece for each unit, everything all taken care of, it shows that our NOI each month, so our net operating income, is $1,615. And then it shows that our annualized income, how much we'd be getting in every year would be $19,380. So this is down here showing our cap rate at 12.19%. But guys, this is a 2-unit, and what cap rate is just like your return on investment, but they don't usually talk about cap rate when it comes to residential properties. It's more so any properties that are commercial based, and that is what helps dictate the value of the property. So usually with this one, we don't have to worry about a cap rate. We're gonna go based off the comparables of what other properties, other 2 units are selling for. So with this price of being $159,000, what I want to do now is find what could this be worth, right? So we got to figure out what this could be worth. And if you guys don't want to do it that way, if you guys just want to see what your mortgage on this would be, we can also do this. We'll go and pull up a mortgage calculator. The home value, so let's say it is worth the 159 price, 159. Let's say you can do a down payment if you want of, I don't do it this way, but if you guys if you want to do it this way, let's actually say 5,000. If you put down 5,000, actually let's do it this way. If you guys get like an FHA loan, which you can't get an FHA loan just because of the condition. But if you get a conventional loan, so 159, let's do 5%. Yeah, let's just put 5%. See there, loan amount, interest rate, let's put average. We're averaging around 7.5. Currently right now. Taxes, I think I put 28, what did I put? 2,700. So 2,700. And then homeowners insurance each year. So we did 80 a month. So we just do 80 times 12. So that's 960. 960. It's no HOA. Conventional. And let's do for a buy. And I don't think I missed anything. So it shows that, where is it at? It shows that this would be our mortgage, so 1424. So if we were to buy it outright with someone putting $5,000 to it, so 1424. So what we would do, let me just bring the calculator over here so you guys can see. So we're netting each month 1615. But our mortgage would be 1424. So if I'm coming back here, if our mortgage is 1424, so we had the 1650 from right here minus the 1424. So it shows our true cash flow. And some people are getting on in the other video about you really don't have cash flow if you have a mortgage. Yeah, it is what it is. Who cares, right? So our cash flow is like 191, right? I personally wouldn't do that. Like just taking out a mortgage, putting $5,000 and doing that, because I don't want a cash flow of 199. Because this is for the whole property, you got to remember. So you want to divide it by 2. You want to see what the price per door is, and that's only $95. So that's horrible. What I like to look at personally, and like when me and my former business partner working together, we want a minimum of $300 a door. So this doesn't work out. This does not work out just buying it for us personally outright like that. So let me see. I want to look at comps within this area. So this is 1,600 square feet. I want to look at comps. So let's go from high to low. High to low, and let's go to sold properties. Right where this one was on 29th Street. So there's 20th Street. So right around, let me just zoom in a little bit, right around here. Okay. And it's a 2-unit, high to low. Let's see, this is gonna be, I think this is way more than a 2-unit, and it's commercial. You can see right here, so let's get out of that. This looks like a 4-unit. because we're only 4 beds, because remember, 2 unit, each has 2 bedrooms. So look, here's a oh, it's a triplex. Ours is a duplex. So let's see if we can find a duplex. And this is just me running some quick numbers. Here's a duplex, sold for $227. Let me look at the description. 2 unit. Okay. So it's not telling me what the units are each bringing in. So that's a major part. So we want to figure out what the unit is bringing in, and we also want to see the condition of the unit, right? So let's look at the photos real quick to see if it is remodeled, to see if it is ARV. And just by the looks of it here, it's not ARV. In regards to condition wise here, like it does need some work. This unit, it's not, you know, it looks a little bit updated, just needs some better photos, except for here. But what I want to do, let me take this property. So this is 27 South 28th Street. And let me see how many days on market, because I like to look at that as well. So, and this is in September, actually. It was listed for sale. Then it went under contract pretty fast a couple days later, and then sold finally in November for $227. So it actually went up in price. So, you know, that's some good news. Let me see. So 27 South 28th Street. Let me go back to public records on the MLS. 27 South 28th Street. Taxes are a little bit higher on this one. And what I want to do is go here, see if they have any documents in regards to, yeah, they don't even have any documents for how much they were getting in rent. Okay, so total actual rent. This is $26,400. So with this here, I don't know if this is the gross or if that's the NOI. But if I do 26,400 divided by 12, 22. Okay, so this is probably the gross, I'm guessing. This is probably the gross, potentially. So 22. So roughly around the same. Ours is a little bit better, 25. But with this one also, where am I at? I have too many tabs open. But with this one also needing some work, we probably could definitely for sure push this price up. And guys, don't only get one comparable. Look at multiple comparables. Just for the sake of this video, I'm gonna just use this as a comparable. This one is slightly bigger. It's showing that it's 2,100 square feet. Let me see. And ours is showing 1,600 square feet. And another thing you guys do want to pay attention to is you see this is attached to another house. This isn't a part of the duplex. The duplex is up and down. So this is one unit, this is another unit. Whereas the other property, it was completely, you see, this is the whole unit here. So that also makes another difference as well. So this is kind of a little bit more valuable per se, just because it's a detached 2-unit property. But let's say our ARV, let's just say it was like, we could definitely do better than this with our numbers being a little bit higher. So let's say we were at, if it appraised for 235, right? So if this property appraised for 235, look, they're asking 159. So if potential, and guys, I would dive deep even more. Like I said, don't only get one comp. So if potential ARV is 235, what I would want to do for the BRRRR is I would take 235 times the loan amount, the LTV. So sometimes the bank can do, you know, 70%, 75%, 80%. Let's see where we would be at with 75%. So 75%. So we'd be at 100,700 and 176,250, right? And then we also want to minus what we're buying it for, our initial closing costs up front, and the amount of rehab the property needs. So we can see with this property here, you need new flooring, you need new paint, you need a whole bathroom. And let's say each bathroom is gonna be $5K a piece. You got 2 bathrooms right there just to fully remodel them. $5K, we're looking at $10K. Looking at the kitchens, and these are just rough estimates, super rough. Kitchens, you don't have to go all out because it's a rental, but if you make it good, you don't have to worry about too much maintenance stuff on the back end. So we do 5 and 5 for the bathrooms, 10 kitchens. If you do, let's say you put 4 into them, 4 and 4, 8, plus the 10, we're at 18 already. Plus the paint, this is 1,600 square feet. Literally, we could do paint. Sometimes they do it at like $4 a square foot, but if you do 1,600 times 3, let's say it's 4,800 plus the 18,000, and then another for all the flooring. If we're doing all the flooring, let's add another 5. So it says 27,800, and this is just rough. Like the windows may need repaired, the roof may need repaired. And let's say we have to put a minimum of like 35 into it, which I know it is probably going to be more. I am just doing guesses right now, rough, estimates. So we got this price here, minus 35,000, minus closing costs on the front end. We may be looking around, let's just say 6K. I always overestimate. It may not even be. We can even put 7,500 just to be safe for minus original purchase price. So it looks like for this refinance, looks like gonna have to be bringing money to the table. Would I do this deal? No, I would not do this deal at all. But I kind of showed you 2 ways you can purchase it, conventional, or it would actually make more sense to purchase it conventional than doing it a burr. But it doesn't make sense at all to purchase this in general just because the numbers just don't work. If you got this property lower, yeah, it definitely could work. So that is, let's see, if ARV I said was 235 times 0.75, and you can go up even more, but the higher you go, the more your mortgage is going to be, and then you're just going to be in the negatives for cash flow. So if we do that, and then we minus the 35,000, minus rough closing costs and stuff, and you have holding costs as well. So let's see, we're at 133. If we want to minus some money for holding costs, 130. So we have to purchase it below 130, and there's refinance closing cost fees, and for us roughly around like $2,000 or so, sometimes cheaper. So we want to purchase it below. So let's say we want to make $5,000, we need to purchase it at like 123. But you guys have to still realize on the back end of things, when you do get a mortgage, this will still not cash flow at all. So at the end of the day, this is not one I would rock with. So yeah, this is definitely a no-go. But this is how I just run through some properties and see if it's something I want to do, as long as it has a minimum of cash flow of $300 per month. But really, I want to buy my properties outright. I don't want to deal with mortgages. That's just the way to go nowadays. But we'll see, we'll see what happens, see how my journey continues. But this is how I just run through the numbers pretty quick. So that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed me just like running through numbers. I don't know if this is boring for you guys. Let me know if you guys like videos like this. Just comment them down below. And with that being said, if you want to figure out how I was able to buy 22 units in only 18 months with very little money, like I'm talking less than $6,000, you're going to want to make sure you check out this video right here.